Welcome to the You're in Charge podcast, prioritizing your self-care without sacrifice. I'm your host, Heather Dumas, healthy lifestyle strategist, owner and founder of HD Transformations Coaching Company. I am passionate about helping you juggle all the balls and look and feel like a badass doing it. Having a personal trainer is not enough. It's not enough to get you where you want to go. It's not enough to get you feeling how you want to feel. It's just not enough. I know, because I am a personal trainer. That was one of my many certifications I got 7 years ago when I started this coaching company. However, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for the people I was helping. Neither was the nutrition certification or the behavioral change certification. Those on their own aren't enough. Why? Because having the plan, having the thing that tells you, how many squats to do and how many calories and how many macros to eat will only get you so far. The problem that I ran into, that my clients ran into, and the reason that I pivoted what I do is because you need a strategy. You need a way for implementing the plan into your life, into your situation, in your family dynamic, so that you can make it work. I can tell you until I'm blue in the face to do 3 sets of 10 squats 3 times a week. But if you can't get to the gym because you have to drive your kids to school and you have late night calls and meetings and emails that never end, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Or if I tell you that you need to count your macros and count your calories and prep your food ahead of time, yet you can hardly even feed your own children, much less yourself, or you're not even home, or you hate cooking, you're not going to be successful. That's why I changed my whole business model and what I do about 5 years ago. And I started helping women create a healthy lifestyle strategy that is sustainable, enjoyable, and effective. Meaning, yes, I give you the plan. Yes, I help tell you how many squats to do, but I also sit down with you and we go through and figure out, what does your life look like? How many balls are you juggling? Which ones are the most important? Which ones might be able to be delegated, set down, put aside, paused in midair? And where do you fit in? So that's why healthy lifestyle strategy is the thing that you need and the thing that everyone needs to create the body that they love and understand. You can have goals. Goals are great. You can want to lose weight. You can want to run a marathon. You can want to sleep better. You can want to be less stressed out. All of those things can happen with the right healthy lifestyle strategy. But having the goal isn't enough. Having the plan isn't even enough. It's implementing it. It's knowing how to squeeze it in between carpool and meetings and volunteering and, probably being a spouse and a friend and having a good time once in a while. It's about being able to go on vacation and not feel guilty. It's about being able to enjoy holidays with your friends and family and not be the weirdo bringing your own food to the party. It's about not being on a roller coaster of constantly restricting and then binging, restricting and then binging. It's about feeling at peace. It's about feeling comfortable with what you need to do, when you're going to do it. And then when you do it, feeling great about it. Not feeling guilty because you happen to have a cookie. Not feeling guilty because you had to skip your workout because your kid was up all night puking and you couldn't get yourself out of bed. It's not about feeling like you're a slave to the plan. And if you miss the gym, then you're off the wagon. And if you fall out, 75 hard is called 75 hard for a reason. It's hard. And some of us don't need the hard way. If you want to do it, hey, high five, more power to you. It's a really interesting approach. It's a really interesting journey into your own mind. And I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying it's called 75 hard for a reason because it's hard. If you live a high stress life, if you've got a lot of people depending on you, if you've got a lot of things demanded upon you, you don't need anything hard. You don't need to make life any harder than it already is because it's hard enough. Let me interrupt you to ask you a quick question. What if every day went smoothly? What if you got everything done, you weren't stressed out, and everyone got where they needed to be with their cleats, with their bats, with their bags, with their everything. Now, I'm sure you're probably thinking, hell yes, that sounds great, but in what reality would that actually happen? Well, I can make it happen for you, or rather, you can make it happen for you. I created the Power Hour Planner years ago for this exact reason. I was sick of scrambling. I was sick of forgetting things. So it is free. It is on my website. You sit down every evening, you lay out your plan for the next day, and things go smoothly. I double dog dare you to try it. If it doesn't fix it, call me. I can't give you your money back because it's free, but maybe I can give you something better. Now back to our conversation. So if you are struggling, if you are feeling like you've done all the right things, you're following the quote unquote plans, maybe you've hired a trainer, maybe you've hired a nutritionist, maybe you've done 75 hard, probably not finished it. Maybe you've done keto, maybe you've done all these different things, but nothing has worked. It's because it's not the right strategy for you. It may be great for your neighbor, for your friend, for your sister, for your mom, but not for you. It is super, super important that you not only look at the actual calories and the workouts, but you look at your stress levels. You look at how you're feeling every day. Because if you are under a huge amount of stress, it doesn't matter what you eat, your body's going to store it. And if you're under a huge amount of stress and then you go work out, your body's going to burn muscle and store fat. So you could be working yourself into the ground at your work and then go to the gym and do the same thing and not get where you want to go. So if you're feeling this way, I want you to shoot me a message. I want you to let me help you do it, not the hard way. Now, I'm not saying it's easy either, but like with all things in life, all we have to do is put one foot in front of the other, and we have to be on the right path. Think of it this way. You need to go across the country. You got to go visit some friends. Never been there, and you're driving. We have these amazing little GPS apps now, right? And they tell us if there's traffic, if there's construction, or you could go the old school way and pull out the paper map. Now, the paper map will tell you how to get there. It will probably tell you 3-4 different routes you could choose from. But will it tell you the one that's right today? Will it tell you the one that's right for today's weather conditions, for today's traffic conditions? Will it tell you how to avoid the cops? Let's be honest, sometimes that's important. Well, our lives are not just black and white. They can't just be mapped out with a bunch of numbers and say, here's the magic formula. Is it a calories game? At the end of the day, yes, sort of. The calories matter when you have them, all of that. We don't live in a science lab where they can burn a certain amount of carbohydrates and get a certain amount of energy out of it and say, okay, so now if you go sprint X number of minutes, then you're going to burn the same amount of energy. It sounds great in a lab, but you, my friend, are not in a science lab. But you are, however, in charge. You are in charge of how you get there. You're in charge of how you structure your life. You're in charge of your happiness. And if chasing after goals in that linear black and white fashion is not working for you, then it's time to make a change. It's time to upgrade. It's time to step into our new millennium where we have fancy dancy little GPS things that tell you where the traffic is and where the cops are. And you have someone like me who can tell you, yes, you need to exercise. Yes, you need to eat a certain amount of this and that. But here's how we're going to do it. Here's how you're going to do it and get to your kid's soccer game and get to the, spring play and spend Friday night with your spouse and go on vacation and relax and enjoy a drink with a little umbrella in it with zero guilt. Because life is real. Life is not linear. It is not black and white. Life is bumpy. Life has all kinds of hard lefts and hard rights and roadblocks in the middle. And having the right strategy involves a plan for that. When I work with my clients on their strategy, we talk about every contingency. What happens if? Okay, going back to our GPS analogy, what happens if that road's closed? What happens if there's traffic? Well, I've got a route. Now rerouting, right? And that's what we do as a team together. So if you're struggling, if you're feeling like, okay, I've been following the map and the map is not getting me there, then you need to make a change. And if you want to get maximum results with minimum frustration, then I've got something for you. Let me interrupt you to tell you something. If there is one thing I know for sure, it is that no women eat enough protein. None. I have not yet met one woman who meets the daily protein requirements that her body needs. So that probably includes you. So what do? Well, you can gag down more chicken if you really want to, but you probably don't. You can have a really delicious shake instead. I have some options for you. I have whey protein. I have vegan protein. Either one, they're both delicious. The whey protein comes in both vanilla and chocolate. The vegan comes in vanilla. Both mix up easily with water or your milk of choice. And they will give you a hit of protein, none of the fillers, none of the sugar, none of the nonsense. They're sweetened with stevia and they are teenage boy approved. So you know they taste good. Grab yours on my website. Now back to the conversation. I have a workshop coming up about exactly that. And I'm going to help you create your GPS map, your strategy. Now, we can't do it like we would if we were working together because it takes time. I can't map out your whole life in like an hour. But what I can do is help you get started, help you start to look at some things that are influencing whether or not you are able to be successful with what you're trying to do, and also offer you some alternative options if what you're doing isn't working, or if you have no idea what the hell to do. I'm going to help you get started. I'm going to help you get the ball moving in the right direction or the car moving in the right direction. And then if you choose to further the discussion and you want to know how to get all the way from point A to point B and around all the detours on the way, then we can have that conversation later. So I hope that you won't give up. I hope that you won't allow yourself to get frustrated. I hope you realize that there are potholes and there are all kinds of things along the way. My analogies of driving are running out. There are things that are going to get in your way. There are problems that will arise. There are situations you may have. Suddenly you have to go out of town. Suddenly you have a massive change in work structure. And maybe now all of a sudden you have to work different hours, or you suddenly are taking on more responsibilities. So you feel like you have to do stuff late at night. If you have a super rigid plan, you're going to fail. There has to be room for detours. There has to be room for construction. There has to be room for traffic jams. And when you get in that traffic jam, you need to know the way out of it so you don't sit in traffic for 2 hours when you could have gone around it, right? And the same thing goes for your health and your happiness. You could be drudging through, just like sitting through traffic, miserable, or there might be a different way. There might be a way around it. I'm not going to call it a shortcut because it's usually not a shortcut. It's usually a long cut. But there's a way around it where you're not sitting still miserable, where you're still moving forward, albeit maybe in a different roundabout way, but you're still moving forward. That's what I want for you, is to keep moving forward. So if you feel like you have been beating your head against the wall, or the linear path that you thought was so simple, or maybe a trainer or somebody gave you a plan and it's not working, or maybe Google gave you a plan and it's not working, join me for this workshop. Maximum gains, minimal frustration. That's what we're doing. Guaranteed gains, minimal time is actually the title of it, but maximum gains, minimal frustration is also part of it. And it's coming up. It's free. So join me. I'm going to help you get around through whatever. And then if you want to go deeper, if you feel like you need that navigator telling you rerouting, give me a call, shoot me a message. Let's get on it. Let's get on a call. Let's have a conversation. Let me tell you about how I can help you. Let me tell you about how much easier your life will be if, instead of doing 75 hard or anything else the hard way, let me show you the easier way. I'm not going to say it's easy, the easier way. The way that works for your life, your circumstances, your life, your family dynamics. That's what Revive, my coaching program, is all about. It's basically all the benefits and amazing things of one-on-one coaching for less than the premium price, because we do it as a team with some other people. But you're getting all the benefits without having to pay the premium, without having to invest in a massive program. And I will be by your side telling you to reroute, turn left, turn right, pump the brakes so that you don't have to start over again. And you don't have to sit in misery, like hours and hours of traffic again. Come and join me for this workshop. Shoot me a message if you want to go deeper. But please please don't sit through traffic and be miserable. And by all means, don't keep doing the same thing and getting zero results. You're in charge. You're in charge of that path. You're in charge of that route. See you soon.
Thank you so much for joining me today. Remember, you're in charge. You're the only one who can create the life and the body you desire. You and only you. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to cheer you on and occasionally to give you the kick in the ass you need to make it happen. But at the end of the day, it's up to you. If you found value in today's episode, please hit subscribe. It'll bring all the newest episodes to the top of your list. You won't have to worry about it. One less thing. And I would love for you to share it with your most stressed out, frazzled friend. She needs it even more than you do. If you have a question or a topic that you'd like me to cover, reach out, shoot me a message on any of the socials or directly on my website. I would love to hear your idea, your question, and I'm always looking for new ones. Until next time, keep being the badass you are, and remember, you are in charge.